Hi, and welcome back to this week's Parsha Shir on Sefer Tal Chermon of Rav Shlomo Aviner. This week, Rav Aviner addresses himself to the dream in the beginning of the Parsha of Vayetze, the dream of Yaakov of the ladder, Sulam Mutzav Arta V'Rosho Magia HaShamayma, the ladder that's firmly implanted on the ground, and the top of the ladder reaches towards the heavens. He sets the stage a little bit, saying, Yaakov Yotze mi Beersheva livroach mipnei achiv, matzavo eino mazhir. He doesn't have a shining beginning in the Parsha. He's leaving in very precarious times from Beersheva, running away from his brother, Chaser Bait, Chaser Isha, Ani v'Chaser Kol. He has no home, he has no wife, he has no house, he has no belongings, he has nothing. Hu Gole Harishon, Haboreach Misakanat Hariga. He's the first person going into exile, the first Jew running away from people who are trying to get him, from people who are trying to kill him. Ma tomen lo ha'atid b'chuvo, ma yeh. What's going to be of him? What does his future hold? Az ba chalom Yaakov. Then comes the dream. And Raviner is going to explain the nature of the dream over here, and the nature of dreams in general, the specific nature of Yaakov's dream, and what it must have meant to him, how crucial it must have been to him at this particular juncture of his life. Yesh chalamot v'yesh chalamot. Rav Aviner says there are dreams and there are dreams. Yesh chalamot niskavim nivuim v'yesh einam ela divrei hevel. There are beautiful, prophetic, lofty, incredible dreams, and then there are other dreams that are just nonsense dreams. We can understand it based on the Gemara in Brachos, which says that dreams are nothing more than the hirhurhei lev ha'adam, and the things that are already in your mind, already in your heart. Talui mihu acholem umai sarafav. Hacholem Yaakov bitui lehirhurhei libo hapnimiyim biyoter lemahuto linyano. If dreams are really just the emanation of what's already going on in our soul, what's already going on in our consciousness, and our hirhurhei lev, then really the dream here is critically important, because Yaakov's dream is actually a revelation of what's on his mind to begin with, of what his identity is about to begin with. It's a bitui, it's an expression of his most innermost thoughts to his mahus, to his being, to his identity, and his task in life. What's on his mind, what's occupying the very nature of his being up to this point, suddenly emanates in a dream where he sees it before his very eyes. That's the koach of a dream. That's the koach of a chalom. A chalom says to yourself, to your own being, you have a lot going on in your mind, you're thinking, your being is wrapped up in some idea, and then you see it before your very eyes in a dream, it becomes much more real. It's as if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling you, you know what, I'm going to take what's in your heart and put it in a picture so that you see it before your very eyes, and it becomes real for you. And then you know truly what's inside you and what you can aspire to. So that's the purpose of Yaakov's dream, to give him direction, to show him a picture of his life and what it's truly all about. So he says, B'chalomo shnei dvarim. There are two aspects to his dream, which Hashem is kind of taking and then showing him. Harishon, haftacha elokit. The first is a godly promise. Ani Hashem, haaretz asher tashochev aleh, l'cha etnena l'zarecha, vayazarcha ka'afar haaretz, ufaratz diyam et l'kedma. All of what follows in the dream is God's promise to him, God's promise of zera and aretz, promise of the land and the promise of progeny. That's the promise in the brach given to Avram, given to Yitzchak, and now given to Yaakov over here as well. לעומת ההווה העלוב והמסובך באה ההבטחה האלוקית שישמר בכל הדרך הארוכה מן ההווה הקודר אל העתיד הגדול שבו יבוא. In this gloomy, kind of desperate situation, complicated situation, he finds himself empty and devoid of everything right now. Hashem shows him that picture of who he truly is and truly will be, and promises, I will protect you all the way until you get to that vision that I'm showing you right now, of that promise of Zer and Aretz, of being part of those descendants and part of the lineage and the dynasty of Avram and Yitzchak. You'll get there too, even if you don't see it right now in this moment. That's number one, Nakuda number one, that Hashem shows him before his very eyes about his mahus, about his identity and his core being. Hadavar sheni hu mar'eh sulam. The second thing, aside from the promise of God, is this image of the ladder. Yachalom v'nei sulam mutzav arza, rosho magia shamayma, a ladder planted on the ground, going up to the heavens. Hasulam mechaber shamayim va'aretz. The ladder represents the connection between heaven and earth. Hu mutzav arza, poneh mehashamayim elionot el ha'artziut, v'hu gam magia hashamayma, poneh el hashamayim ha'artziut yoneket mehashamayimiyut. He says that it's a two-way street. The connection of Shamayim va'aretz shows you that neither is divorced one from the other. That the aretz, the artziut, the baseness, the mundaneness is yonek. It's drawing upon the Shamayim. It's looking up to Shamayim through the ladder, and Shamayim is looking down to the aretz to influence it as well. It's a two-way street. Hasulam hu Yaakov be'atzmo. Based on the idea of the Nefesh HaChaim, Rav Aviner over here says that the ladder was the vision Hashem gave Yaakov of himself. As we said earlier on in the Sikha, that the whole purpose of a dream is to take who you are and what you're thinking about and your Hirhoi Lev and your Mahus and show it to you in plain form. So point number one, he shows him, you're part of the dynasty of Avraham Avinu. You're going to have Zerah and Aretz, descendants and land. And number two, I'm going to show you a ladder, because a ladder is you, Yaakov. This ladder, the connection of Shamayim va'aretz, is you. That's what you're all about. That's your mahus. Shemaymi va'artzi bebat achat. You're heavenly and earthly at the same time. Ruchniyut haponeu mitpashet letikun hamaasiyut. You are a spiritual being where your spirituality is directed towards an active engagement in the world. Umaasiyut keshera shoevet umudrechat ayedei haruach. And you have an earthiness, a mundaneness, an activeness that's constantly drawing upon your heavenliness and your spirituality. Zo hakvelut shebeYaakov. This is the duality of Yaakov's being, Shamayim va'aretz, not just both, bebat achad, not just connected, but drawing from each other and helping each other, coming together, fusing together. That's Yaakov in the midah of Tiferet. Takes chesed and gvura and combines it into one beautiful, splendid being called Yaakov, the ultimate combination of both. Hamar'eh eno stati. But there's another point here, says Rav Aviner. The image of Shamayim va'aretz and the connection between them, the sulam, representing Yaakov as a being, is not static. Yesh tenuah dinamiut. There's a movement, there's a dynamism about the ladder. Malachei Elokim olim v'yordim bo. It's not a static image, it's an ever-changing, dynamic image. Hem olim l'shamayim linok me'hamakor Eloki al menat lashuv laredet el artziut laha'irba. The angels go up to draw from the spirituality of the heavens, and then come down to bring it down to the earth, and vice versa. There's a constant flow of movement. The connection is alive, it's dynamic, not a static connection. That Yaakov happens to be the DNA of Ruchnius and Gashmius, of heavenliness and earthiness, of mundaneness and spirituality. And he's both at the same time. He is the combination of both. No. It's like a conversation between Shamayim va'aretz, between Ruchnius and Gashmius, that's ever alive and dynamic and flowing and evolving within Yaakov at any one time. That's who he is. That's what the ladder represents in this particular case. Ha'ilui ruchani eno mistayem berichuf ha'olamot ha'elyonim. His spirituality is not one that's divorced from the issues of this world. Tzadikim shavim im harechush hagadol shirachashu El hametziut artzit al manat lif'ol ba uletakana. The whole purpose, the crux, paraphrasing from the more Nevuchim of the tzaddik, is not to go and grow and be in that spiritual realm, divorced from the world. No, it's to go up. And as he says here, they return with their property. They go and get property from the heavens, so to speak. That's the role of a tzaddik, to grow in spirituality, to get all that property, all that rechush, all that inheritance of the spiritual, and then carry it back to this world. El ha'artziut, down to the earthliness, down to the mundaneness. Lif'ol ba uletakna, to use it in order to perfect the world that you live in. He says that's the model that Yaakov is going to follow as a being, the model that he's seeing here in the dream of the Sulam, the connectedness of heaven and earth, the combination of both, and the dynamism, the constant relationship and conversation between them is not a new model. Rav Aviner goes on to tell us that it's actually the model of Akedas Yitzchak itself. It's the model that he sees in Avram Avinu. Ba'akedas Yitzchak Avram Avinu mitromem lema'alot ruchniyut noraot kolekach shena'arav einam re'uyim lihiyot nechochim mamad hahu. At the Akedah, Avram rises to the highest level of spirituality, so much so that the two Na'arim with him are not allowed to see it. They're not allowed to be a part of it. That's why he says, Shulachem poi machamor, v'ani vanar nelcha adko. You guys stay here with the donkey. You're compared to the low level of donkeys, even though the people we're talking about here is Eliezer. Eliezer, his trusted servant. Eliezer is the one who's dola umashke Torah's rabbo l'rabim. As Chazal say, Eliezer drew all the Torah for Avraham Avinu. Eliezer was trusted to go find a wife for Yitzchak. Eliezer on a tremendously high level. And here he's considered nothing more than a chamor compared to Avram, who goes to these spiritual realms that are incomprehensible to the regular human being. They're people who can't understand. He says, "Hem lo yavinu, hem lo yumsugalim la'akel et hamarazo dimiru hem alulim l'dafek l'mishugayim l'apikosim." The image of Avram going to that high spiritual is too much. They won't understand it. They'll be blown away by it. It'll confuse them. They'll end up going completely bonkers because of what they see. Avram holech levado. He has to go alone. Ola lemala bilti nitenet lahasaga. He goes up and up, higher and higher, like a greatest tzaddik without any comprehension. He divorces himself from everything below him, from everything in the world, from more mundaneness. But he says here, Haim Avram nitach ma'ametziut? Does he stay there? Haim hu nishar shemaimi elyoni? Does he remain like up in the heavens? Does he remain totally in the ivory tower? Me'al itzrachim shel hametziut hapshuta, above the needs of reality of the world? Lo, of course not. Right after the Akedah, after it reaches that pinnacle, the pinnacle even Eliezer was not able to see with his own eyes, even though he was itself at a high spiritual level. The very next pasuk, Vayashav Avram el Na'arav, Vayakumu, Vayelchu Yachdav el Beersheva. Beautiful pasuk, Rav Aviner explains. He goes right back to the Na'arim with the Chamor. He goes right back to Aretz. He goes up, he's Rochesh, he inherits, he gets his property of the spiritual nature, and he brings it right back down to the earth. Brings it right back down to the place he left. Never divorcing himself, constantly causing movement and transition and dynamism between the world of Shamayim va'aretz. And because he does that, Vayakumu, they all rise up. Rabbi is beautiful in the pasuk. Because Avram took the Shamayim and brought it down to Aretz, he was metakin, he did fix, he did elevate, and therefore him representing Shamayim and the Na'arim representing Aretz were Vayakumu. They both rised up together. They were both elevated by that experience, which continues to go forward. He ends with another beautiful thought surrounding this issue. When Yaakov wakes up from his dream, he says, "Vayira, vayomar manara makom hazeh in zekim beit Elokim b'zeh shar hashamayim." He attributes the greatness of his dream, which according to Rav Aviner is the dream of the perfect unity of Shamayim v'aretz, the dynamism of Shamayim v'aretz, the perfect spiritual being that's never divorced from the earth. That vision that he sees, which is really a vision of himself, right? He wakes up and he doesn't say, "Oh, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, I'm Shamayim v'aretz, I'm the dynamic sulam." What does he say? It must be the place I'm in. Zeh shar hashamayim. This is the place of God. And therefore Chazal say it's as if the entirety of Eretz Yisrael was folded up under his head in the rock in this moment. What Yaakov realizes is the model in this world of the perfect combination of spiritual and physical, of heaven and earth, is Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is that place where there is a unity, a connection between Shamayim and Aretz, just like Yaakov himself. And so in the dream, after Yaakov sees himself in the Sulam, he sees the parallel to that Sulam in this world, which is not just him, but the land he's lying on. The land he's lying on can be a tool to help him reach that level that he sees himself at in the dream as the Sulam, because the land is that perfect combination. We should all strive to have the loftiest thoughts in our lifetime, to have the loftiest contemplations of who we are and what we are and our true identity, so that our dreams could be at the level of the dreams of Yaakov Avinu, so that what we see in our dreams is a reflection of who we want to be and what we want to aspire to, so that we see in our dreams a gift from Hashem who takes a picture of what we're supposed to be and shows it to us so we literally see it before our very eyes. And with the hope that our picture of ourselves should be like Yaakov's picture of himself. The picture Hashem shows him of two things. One, the promise of being part of the dynasty of the Jewish people, and number two, the promise of being the perfect link between heaven and earth, between spiritual and physical, constantly in conversation, one with the other. May each of us strive to reach those two levels as well. Shabbat Shalom.